What's going on, everybody? Jesse here from SpartanStrings, and today we're reviewing the all-new Stx Ultra Power. Let's go. So as you guys know, this is the next head in the power line of Stx heads, and it comes in at $99 and is available for pre-order for all you guys out there. So this head comes in at 5 ounces, which is not too heavy, not too light, probably similar to other heads like the Evo 5. So let's now go into what makes this different from the Stx Super Power, Proton Power, and Super Power Plus. So the biggest difference of this head compared to all the other ones is that it has the power ramp. Now what the power ramp does is it offsets the head differently than any other head. Rather than going back and then straight, it curves forward, forcing the ball to come out a little bit faster than any of the other heads. Now this idea is based off of the sport Highlight, and we're gonna show this on the screen right now. That way you guys get an idea of where they got this idea from. So based on the sport of Highlight, which they can shoot the ball up to 200 miles per hour using their stick, we're gonna call it, the thing on their hand that they're holding makes the ball shoot a lot faster than if it was straight because of the curvature on the Highlight material. The offset of this head has an extreme curvature, pushing the ball forward, forcing the ball to come out at a faster velocity than if it was straight, thus causing you to shoot 2 to 7 miles per hour faster, as tested. So moving on to the face shape. As you see, it's more of a rounded face shape to this as it goes up gradual and doesn't flare out too aggressively. Because the head is so wide and flat up top, it makes it extremely hard to get a channel in this head, but we're gonna get into the stringing aspects in a little bit. Next up is the sidewall design. Similar to all other power line heads, they do have the one strut right here, but they decided to move that up and add a second one. That way it's a little bit stiffer and a little bit more rigid. But in my opinion, it looks a little unfinished and a little bit cheap, just because the top one looks a little bit more aesthetic and this one's kind of flat and looks a little unfinished. Other than that, it does add a lot of durability and stiffness to the head. So another thing that you notice is that because of the curve of the head, it looks like you want to put a high pocket right where it curves, but actually STX designed it so that way you put a lower pocket in it, so it's more of an attackman and midfielder style of stick. If you do manage to get a high pocket in this, it's going to have a very short distance travel, thus coming out very quick and probably aggressively down to the ground. So I recommend putting a mid or mid-low pocket in this head as advertised. So now moving on to the speed scoop. Now the speed scoop is amazing for ground balls. You can already feel it and look at it and just know that you can pick up anything. You don't even have to get that low for the ground ball because of the head and the scoop being so smooth. So the only downside of the speed scoop being so flat is that it pulls the mesh a lot tighter than it would in a normal head, and it causes you to have less of a channel and less hold than it would otherwise. All right, so going on to the stringing of this head. Now this is the most complex part of the head, in my opinion, just because it's really hard to string. So if you're new to stringing, maybe you're gonna have to have someone else string this for you. Because of the forward cant and flatness of the scoop, it causes you to either have a super tight channel and the ball doesn't come out, or it causes you to have no channel and the ball just come out nice and smooth. So you kind of have to find the happy medium. And in my opinion, what I found what works is pulling the mesh down later in the head rather than right away. If you pull down right away, it causes the top to be way too tight, causing a tennis racket kind of feel, and the ball just has no hold or whip, or no feel. A lot of stringers on Instagram all found a similar pattern to work, because we all did struggle at first stringing this. And if you look, they're all lower pockets with slim channels, but nothing too crazy. Like I said, pulling down the mesh later on in the head, about 2/3 of the way down. So now going on to the feel and playing style of this head. If you're a shooter looking for a lot of whip, but not too much hold, this head could be for you, as well as the shooters that really crank their hands back and don't want the ball to soar out. So if you notice a lot of people, when they bring their hands really far back, similar to how Deemer Class and Ryan Brown shoot, and they try to mimic that, the ball tends to soar out high because the head is straight. But bringing the forward cant like this causes the head to snap the ball forward, similar to how Ryan Brown and Deemer Class shoot. All right guys, that pretty much wraps up the review. So now we're gonna get into a shooting demo, and I'll talk about some characteristics of the head when shooting. Let's go. All right, so I'm gonna shoot my regular stick first, and I'm gonna be aiming for top right. And keep in mind that I am very close. This is more to the point just to show the release of the sticks and the differences between my regular one and the Ultra Power. All right, so as you see, I was pretty accurate with that one. So now we're gonna go into the Ultra Power and see the difference. All right, so after the first shot, you can already tell there's a huge difference with the way it feels. So I'm just gonna adjust my mechanics and bring my hands back farther, and we'll see how that goes. One thing I do feel a lot more comfortable with is bringing my hands really far back. And I'm gonna continue to do that because I think that helps shoot a little bit better with this stick. And we'll see how many more corners I can hit. This isn't strung with a lot of whip. The head just pushes the ball really forward and down. So I recommend bringing your hands up and back as far as you can pretty much. That's gonna help you put on a few more miles per hour in general. So just a quick shooting tip is to bring your hands far and back. So if you're noticing while I'm shooting with this that I'm pulling the ball left or down a lot, it's mostly because I'm a player that plays with a lot of wrist and snap. So if you're a player like me, this might not be the head for you, but if you're a player more like Stelios that uses his whole body and arms more, then that might be the perfect stick for you. Stelios tore his meniscus, so that's why I'm shooting. Hit it, boy.
All right, guys, so after just a little bit of shooting, even though I'm not using a lot of my body or my legs, my shot feels a lot faster. This thing's actually pretty sweet. Like, it's a little odd because it's like just a different offset, but once you kind of get used to it, it definitely shoots a lot faster. So yeah, pretty sweet. Wish I could shoot like full speed, but it's okay. Definitely check this baby out. STX, shout out to you.
Looks good in your hand.
Keeping it innovative, I like it.
It's like 1,000,000,000 degrees out. Anyways, make sure you guys check this out when it comes out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel down below. Like this video if you haven't already. Comment down below. Who is your favorite Office character? Mine's Toby. I'm just kidding, it's Michael Scott. That's what she said. Signing off.